Good day, friends. Welcome to a Word of God Spirit Contact. And here we are in August 2021, and just last night I saw the documentary Roadrunner about Anthony Bourdain and his wild and crazy ascent into celebrity, and his many years of traveling the world and doing those local cuisine shows, of which I knew very little. I was very impressed with all the countries that he went to and the variety of people and cuisines that he experienced quite willingly and enthusiastically. I was aware that he'd done these shows, but not in any detail. I read his book, Kitchen Confidential, when it came out and enjoyed it. And lost track of him, really, until he passed, tragically, of course. He seemed to me being out of touch with him, the sort of celebrity that becomes famous for being famous. And I realize now that wasn't quite fair. I can see from this documentary that his show was quite, challenging and innovative. And there's some fascinating sequences, like when they went to do a show in Beirut and get literally caught up, watching the air battle between Israel and Hezbollah for a number of days from the swimming pool of a hotel. And, much thinking on his childhood and his attitudes to life, his relationships, his marriages, and fairly honest, I'd say. And because he was famous, there's lots of old interview footage that can be used, some newer stuff, for sure. Interesting group of friends that he had, some in the foodie world and others elsewhere. And the friends obviously deeply troubled by his late depression and departure. And a number of them crying on camera. I was quite touched by that. He'd been passed away a couple of years now, maybe 3. And because of my history of spirit contacts, I think, and that if you're watching this because it's got his name in the title, you should know I've done many of these over the years. Many. And you can find them on my YouTube WordofGord channel. And I felt him close to me when I was sitting down to watch the movie with my wife, Cynthia, and nattering away at me as spirits sometimes do. And I think I've got a bit of a rep over there for people that wish to communicate to their friends, family, and fans. Some guides will say, well, talk to Gord. He'll put it online and away you go. So that seems to happen, although I suspect it happens to other mediums too. I haven't really got that much time to track the lives of other mediums. I see the odd thing here and there. Read books, of course. And so what you're about to see reflects my state of knowledge of Anthony and his life, my insights, if I have any, into what was troubling him. It seems to be he was a troubled youth, did some heroin, got himself off of it, but had periodic depressions and manic ups and downs all through his life. And the ups were, sustained, I think, by all his public appearances and his interactions with many people, the film crew, and then all the people that he talked to in many countries about their culture and their cuisine. And it's obvious from the snippets that he would sit down with anybody at all, from the super wealthy to a peasant, especially if the food was good. So yeah, the early depression, I think, never really left him. It got covered up. And there's some, he reflects on it. With his brother, he talks about his childhood in a rather nice place, a beach house by the water, and can't figure out what he was angry about as a teenager, and makes a joking reference to his parents committing the unpardonable sin of loving him and bringing them up well. So he comes up empty-handed, at least in the film, with thoughts on what sank his boat, as it were, despite many seasons of adventurous and fun sailing around the world. Anyway, he's here he is now, and he's off to the side here, sort of waiting for me to stop talking, and as he has been since last night, I said, I can't do this, Anthony. I'm in a theatre. I can't possibly do it now. You'll have to wait. So here we go. Anthony Bourdain. First of all, apologies. I let many of you down by my actions, my family, friends, colleagues, fans. I see now how valued I was by everyone. I sort of knew it before, but not really. You sort of think you're gliding on the power of the media and the praise and the bonhomie and the good vibes from people all over. You somehow, when you have my affliction, however you want to call it, don't realize it's actually directed toward you. It is you. It's not the vehicle. It's not the food. It's not the glamour. It's you. I reached out to people lovingly and friendly and giving and sympathetic, and they appreciated that. Much more than I realized. Much more. The movie, I think it's good. I've sat and watched it several times in several different theaters. Ghosts can do that, Once you've got the basic skills of moving around the spirit world, you can do much of anything quite successfully. And I have had enough time to figure that out with help from other spirits. Great help. Initially, I was a mess. I didn't know quite what to make of my experience of, call it the afterlife. Call it what comes after. I seemed to be in many places at once as my thoughts flickered and flashed, and I did not know until later that it was my thoughts that were taking me all over the place in a very confused seesaw, dodgem car ride, bumping into other dodgem cars and other spirits. And as I saw going around the world, many poor and hungry people, there are some, as we're told, hungry ghosts, hungry with desire, not just food, hungry with desire, to be one place, to be another, to be not who they are. And I saw that in many ways and many places. And advice was being given to me by what seemed to be invisible guides. See this, Anthony? See that? See, you think you're messed up? Look at this guy. Look at this woman. Look at this child. It was a wonderful life in many, many ways. I was incredibly lucky right from the success of my book. Things just went, slidingly downhill in a great, joyous, careless ride where many people took care of me, caught me from going too far, too stupid, too silly, too soon. And I had minders that I didn't know. I thought they were just friends. I thought they were just party partners. When you're sitting, drinking and joking with friends, acquaintances, colleagues, you think you're just partying. And actually, lots of them were caring for me. I didn't know that. I thought I was just being, a happy little party boy, giving everyone laughs and fun, which I was, but it was more than that. From this world, you look back and you see how everything was more than what you thought it was at the time. Everything. I mean, I can't think of anything that now doesn't have extra dimensions. Anywhere from my immersion in the world of food prep and restaurant service, and the love of doing it to its highest degree, to its most luxurious level of preparation, service, and consumption. I took great pride in that, and I took great admiration for others who did it even better than I did. I was always sloppy. I was passionate. I was enthusiastic, but I was sloppy. Others were, much more careful, much more precise, much more proud, maybe. I don't know. I was fairly proud, but I was sloppy with it. Probably too many drugs and booze, That's what happens when you party too much. You think, it doesn't really matter. We're here to have a good time. And, we are. And at this point in my afterlife, I'm having a fairly good time too. I've recovered from the gloominess and the self-laceration of my moods. I have made peace with myself and, my family members that got here before me. I've, done the whole, bowing over, apologizing, and forgive me, routine, and they're all quite ready to do it. Amazing how forgiving people are here. People who you would think of as ghosts, but believe me, they're people. They're human beings with lives. And although you're probably wondering, what about the foodie stuff? Well, you can cook and you can prepare and you can serve here. Lots of people do it. The food looks real, tastes wonderful, even better than normal. And yet you wonder, how real is it? It seems to disappear into your body and not, come out the usual way later. And many theories about this. Some say, have advised me, it's a thought form, it's not real. But believe me, when you're diving into that lobster or, medium rare steak, it tastes as real as it always did. But you can, as you may have heard through other sources, manifest food with your mind. And it looks just as real and tastes just as real as the stuff that you throw on the skillet and prepare. And one's ability to travel, well, you can fly without booking a ticket. Believe me, you may have heard this before, but it's true. You could fly. And Vietnam, Russia, New Zealand, they're all just a skip away. A thought, a skip, a fantasy, you're there. And if you're not careful, you're in 2 or 3 places in 1.5 minutes. And that can be a little confusing, as it did when I first passed. I'm told by friends here that all suicides like to encourage others on earth not to do what I did. And I'm not going to climb on that bandwagon, because I think some of you will be driven to it because you feel there is no option, and that offers of, help and sympathy won't work for you, no matter how many phone numbers you see and how many posters with advice you might pass by on your travels. But I will tell you this, it is not the end. You can't end anything. You can dismiss the body from active service, but you cannot squelch the spirit within it, much as you might like trying. You cannot do it. And I found that out. But I'm not going to jump on the moral high ground and start giving you a lecture about why you shouldn't do what I did. I'd advise you not to. I would suggest that you adopt a position of serenity, acceptance, and start loving others. And that will lead you away from your self-obsession. Now, admittedly, I was pretty friendly, sympathetic, and enjoyed other people, truly, for many years, even though the traveling did get a bit wearying after a while, all those plane rides and airports and, lugging things about. But it didn't it didn't shovel away my deep down self-lacerating depression. Pleasure will not chase away pain. It will cover it up, but it won't chase it away. It just sort of hides it. And then when the pleasure has exhausted itself, the joy, the fun, the happiness, then the negative stuff creeps up from the little hole that you put it in and crawls onto your lap like a cat and won't go away. So I understand that. I really understand that. And I'm offering you understanding, not moral guidance. It just seems, dishonest for someone like me to offer you moral guidance. Although, many would like me to do that, to use my position as a celebrity to encourage you to a certain lifestyle and a certain attitude. And I've done that a little bit, but I'm trying not to do it too much. But certainly reaching out to others rather than waiting for them to reach out to you is one of the keys. Share the load, share the joy, share the bonhomie. Even if you are washing dishes like I started out doing, there is always something to be gained from any experience. Sometimes it's just annoyance and boredom, but, it's still there. There's always something. And at the risk of sounding, pious or sanctimonious or, oh God, no, not again, serving others is a great and wonderful thing to do. And the joy of shared humanity has yet to be trumped. I hate to use that word. Has yet to be bettered. And so that, that's enough of that. I'm not going to go on and on and on and on. But again, apologies to all my friends and colleagues who feel truly let down by my defeatism, my unwillingness to continue the struggle. I should have been more honest with all of you instead of dropping little hints here and there. And I wasn't, and I regret that. And I hope you will, learn to forgive me. And same with the women who I was in relationship with. There was much challenge and difficulty there. And I could have done better, as we all can do when looking back. But try to enjoy your lives without missing me. Understand that I'm, as happy and as fulfilled here in the world of spirits as I was in the world of humans. Life is a lot easier here, less stress, less pressure, more fun. Flying around is fun, let me tell you. And much to learn, much to read, many books. And there are the spirits of the famous artists are still around, and you can contact them if you wish. Writers, poets, painters, philosophers, many of them are here. Many, many, many. There's some dispute about whether it's the real them or somebody doing a very good impersonation job. I try not to enter into that debate, as I don't feel experienced enough to express an intelligent opinion. But there is debate about that. Some say that the spirits of the long dead, the long famous dead in the arts and humanities and governance even, there's plenty of dead politicians here, are not the whole being. They're a little hologram section that serves the needs of those who wish to talk to them. But let me tell you, they serve the needs very well. You're getting the full intelligence there. You're not getting a half-assed ghost trying to do a lousy impersonation. No, you're getting the whole 9 yards, as we used to say. And John Lennon was certainly there when I talked to him. And that sardonic wit, yeah, sure. Now, he said he's not always the John Lennon that I would recognize. He put that on just for me. But he says he's other things as well, and I will be as I go on. I could go on and on and on. As you know, I'm a chatterbox of epic proportions, and could natter on about almost anything, especially if you give me a drink and a smoke, which, again, you can do here, and plenty of fine brandy and great wine. Is it real or is it a thought form? Well, I tell you, the effects are real. And I'm wondering now what I've forgotten to say or do or thank. Thank you to the filmmakers who made such a fine biopic of my life and caught many aspects right on the money. Right on. There's things we didn't get to, things I was too shy and too proud to talk about. But what you see is, a very good resemblance. Probably as good as we're going to get. And I'm seriously impressed that anybody wanted to do it in the first place. What, me? What's so interesting about me? I'm just a chef with a big mouth. So, again, apologies and love and no regrets, Coyote. Really. Don't fall for that one. You'll get here one day too, and you'll love it. Whether you take the fast route or the slow route, you'll get here. And I'll likely still be around, serving up an omelette if you like, or some lobster, or, cheeseburgers and fries. Why not? So, farewell. My fans, you were very good and kind to me. Never let me down like I let you down, that's for sure. And enjoy your lives for as long as you can. And then come here when you're ready. Yes, Anthony, thank you for that. That came through very smooth and easily. Thank you. Sometimes it's a little difficult for me to reach out and link on to that yacht that's sailing by so that I can get on my skis and go behind it. But today it was very easy. And best wishes to you in your afterlife. And as you said, no regrets, Coyote.